We have reached our cruising altitude for day 2. Halfway through, we got the 1-0 matches left to go. The Pioneers, what a performance from them, but not quite enough there. We finally went to Champions Field, but Secret are able to do it in Game 5. And then SSG, quick work of OG. OG gonna have to wait till Friday to seek out redemption, and they've got a long road ahead of them if they want this to continue here. Welcome back, folks. Bates, you were almost right there on Fiber. Almost.
I mean, I almost was. Listen, they played. Fiber might have had his best series he's ever played in his life. Anthem's averaged 554, I think, per game. They simply didn't get the job done. Up 2-1. We saw it. The net was empty. Somebody backflipped for KC, QT Pioneers, and then ultimately nobody was there to finish it. And when we went Game 5, I was a little worried. It's the OC confidence. It came back out. Secret, they took it from him once again.
Yeah, it's a shame. Throw CE. Came back full into play. They just couldn't get it done. They haven't spoken about it so many times. They do what they need to do. They're being aggressive. They're pushing forward. They're making Secret so uncomfortable.
And then they stop.
And then when it then comes back to them, they're like, oh no, Game 5, we're scared now. Yeah. And then they lose it.
Lost.
Secret, they came out as the better team Game 5. Shame for OC.
Only 3 goals for SSG against Carmine Core yesterday. How'd you feel about SSG and their bounce back today?
They look better. It was a more balanced attack, but it is against OG, who have not looked good on land pretty much all year. So we'll see what they can do on Friday. Space Station, I think that's where they want to be. We expect them probably to be 1-1 at this point, so they'll go into tomorrow. We'll see what matchup they get. Maybe it's a favorable one, maybe it's not. So we'll wait and see.
Okay, well, we have the 0-1 matches are done for the day. It's now time to get over onto the 1-0 matches there. Finally got to Champions Field. Otherwise, it's been sweeps on the day. Maybe we'll see a series end in 4 games up here in the top. But we got Carmine Cork playing Furia a little bit later on. They'll close out the day. Not quite, actually. The Gentlemates of Alpine versus Vitality will close out the day. We'll also see Falcons versus BDS immediately after this match. We're going to cover next year. Quick thoughts on Falcons and BDS? I mean, that one should be a barn burner.
Powerhouse matchup. It's the EWC Grand Final all over again. Can BDS come out on top? We'll find out.
But it's not the grand final, so Falcons will probably win.
That's true. That's true. And man, with how fierce they looked yesterday, they are flying with talons out right now. So watch out for them. Let's talk about the match we've got in front of us, though. Power versus the reigning major champions and tournament favorites, G2.
G2 squad, you know exactly what to bring to the table. Daniel, Tommy, Beast Mode. Need I say more? I don't think I need to. But I'll tell you this, though. That power squad, though, they did take out a Gen G team that has been on an uptrend. And Power, they did it in dominating fashion. I said the shots earlier. I think Power shot about 15 times more than Gen G did throughout the whole entire series.
So, Pete, we're looking at G2. You got to hype up your boys, G2. Of course, yes. You don't have to say much. They're the #1 team in the world. Beast Mode, the best player in the world. Daniel has been popping off as well, and I think he's that X factor. He's that closer. I need him to score those clutch goals when it matters most. Atomic, he kind of does the dirty work throughout the match, and he doesn't get as much praise as his teammates, but he definitely deserves it.
I mean, he should deserve it because he's actually the most accomplished person on the team. And he's the one that they want to come team with. Massimo was the glue. Daniel Beast Mode, they had to come join Atomic and Safu, and you got Beast, the NA MVP right there.
Yeah, I mean, Beast Mode, Gibbs, you said it, I completely agree. The best player in the world right now. Undisputed as far as I'm concerned. I think it was a shame not to see him at EWC, but back at Worlds, we're all very excited to see how he's going to come back into the team. And Daniel, my word, he has been so fun to watch this whole week, the week so far. They've only played against Limitless. It's not exactly the best warm-up by any means, but it's still a victory. It's still a 3-0.
That's interesting that he says he modeled his playstyle after Sipical. You feel like you see a little bit of Sipical in him, Bates?
I mean, yeah, they both Sip used to play third man. Dan likes to play third man. Just consistent touches and making sure he makes very few mistakes.
On the other side, the story of the first day of the tournament, Power, who took out Gen G, are now going to try and do one better. They took out the NA #2. Now we're going to look for the NA #1 here. But we've been saying there's a big difference, but they have such a good time. The vibes are immaculate.
Vibes for Power, #1 in the world. Absolutely. The cowboy hats are coming out. They have a good time no matter where they go. Torsas, he's been to a lot of these. Always has a good time. This is, what, his 12th LAN, I believe. Tied for the most with J-Naps, and the whole team has been an OC powerhouse. It just comes down to you get that one upset, but you gotta follow through with another.
Yeah, and I was talking to Fever yesterday because I've got him on a fantasy team, and I said, Fever, you're on my team. You got to do well against Gen G, and he looked at me and just went, oh dear. And then they came out afterwards winning, and I was like, you did me proud. And he was like, yeah, that was good, really, wasn't it, in the end? And then Torsos, you know, he's obviously excited, trying to get through into the top 8 if they possibly can. It's going to be a big question mark, but it's hopefully on the way this time.
All right, so Power versus G2. There's good news and bad news. Which do you want first?
Wait, good news and bad news for who?
Give me the
For
good
Power
news first.
Oh, for Power. Okay. Give me the bad news first.
Okay, there is no good news. Actually, there is only bad news. They played twice in Major 1, Major 2, 3-0 for G2, 3-0 for G2. The goal differential, 3 goals for Power and 22 goals for G2. G2 has dominated.
That's 3 goals across both 6 games.
Both, yes,
Hold on, I got
against
the good
6 games.
I got the good news. Gibbs throws out all those numbers, and you know what I say to that? Gen G played Power back in London. I think they scored 10 goals to 2. And after this, you know what happened in the World Championship? Gen G got absolutely slapped your mama.
And they also played
chance.
Major 1 too.
So-
And Gen G won that one.
Exactly. So there's a chance that Power can correct the script if you're an OCE fan and take out the #1 team in the world.
And our biggest issue as well with KCP was that they ended up not really pushing forward in that game 5, where they were being really aggressive, then they got scared. Power, I don't think they've actually got a scared bone in their body at this World Championship. I think they're going to continue to be aggressive and give no respect to G2.
I think they're ready to go, folks. Hashtag PWR if you think Power's got this one. Hashtag G2 if you think G2 is going to win. I
think it will be similar to what worked for G2 here. Realistically, G2, best team in the world right now. Power, they're on a bit of an upswing, but I'm not going to go too far against it. A game or 2 maybe Power, if they can keep their composure.
Yeah, like I'm not going to pull a T-Bates here. I'm going to go G2. I'm going to pick the favorite. I'm not going to go with these underdog picks and just get them wrong. So I'm going to go G2 pretty comfortably.
Wait, you were gassing up Power just a moment ago.
I mean, I'm gassing them up because they're a really solid squad. I'm telling you, listen, when they win against Gen G, all 3 players average a goal per game. You know how incredible that is? That's phenomenal. That means the offense is on tilt. But I'll tell you this, they're going up against the best defensive team in the world. So, of course, they're not going to be able to get that score. What'd you say? 22-3 is relevant right now. Give me G2 stride.
This is not a sweep. I'm also going with G2. It's not a sweep because of what Power is. It's a sweep because of who G2 are. If it was anyone versus G2, I think it would probably be a sweep up here on the desk. How does the coin feel about it? Power on one side, G2 on the other, into the air, and it comes up. Power. They got Power on this one. Someone had to have Power here. Given what they did yesterday, the coin believed. So
they deserve it.
We'll see if they can make it. I'm curious how close it's going to be with chat. How much did the game against Gen G yesterday sway them?
Almost 30. That's I think before yesterday, we're looking at below 20%. But the fact that now
anybody against G2. Absolutely, folks. Well, it's time to get the #1 team on the pitch. We got Beast Mode, Daniel, and Atomic, folks. We love watching these boys play Rocket League. I'm excited to see them go. But on the other side, we'll see if Torsauce and Banana Head and Fever can give them a run for their money. G2 versus Power.
Champions of NA versus the champions of OCE. We had a quick break, Johnny, but I'm so excited to get into this. Game brought to you by Progressive.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. We've already seen what happened when Power got the salty run back with Gen G. They had a lot of success in that variation. But this one should be a little bit harder. G2 have been by far the best team in North America when it comes to LAN play. I mean, when it comes to playoffs, different levels. Even now, they are the heavy favorites. Power have to keep proving. Even after the upset against Gen G yesterday, we want to see more. We need two upsets before they can really be entering the discussion, the likes of which G2 are currently in.
Power definitely have the capabilities, the talent to beat top 8. Can they catch G2 off guard? And G2 themselves have to really respect Power after what they did to their little brothers of Gen G.
Oh.
Now, a tone being set, I think this is less going to be about politics and more about the right decisions being made, outsmarting your opponent. Already some quick demos from Power to get the ball rolling, but it's Daniel that cuts across all the defenders.
I think, you know, the game plan's quite clear here for G2. We saw what they did yesterday against Limitless, just playing a very safe style. They didn't go for the, you know, merciless approach Falcons do when they're playing down. They just try and score 20 goals. No, G2, they just try to never concede pretty much at all. They just try to play for clean sheets, and I expect that to do against Power. If they could frustrate Power's offense, then Power will likely overextend, and G2 will be focusing on counter-attacks. So we'll see. I mean, Power do have the firepower. We saw that yesterday. 1 goal per game against a team of Gen G's caliber is an astonishing performance. If they can replicate this, though, this would be one of the biggest upsets in Rocket League history.
I think G2 are just taking their time with it. I'm seeing a lot of carries by Daniel, now carries by Beast Mode. They seem to have the whole field, and you can't let them have that much time and space on the ball. Power cannot be scared of a team like G2, and Maybe the under
Well, they're in G2 in their own, tasting their own medicine. Look at that brilliant 50-50 back into the middle. G2 creating some volatility there, just sending the third man charging into the play. But the rest of the team wasn't back. Power on the counter-attack with the 1-goal lead.
Yeah, G2, like 70% of the field thought they could just kind of lay back, go back for boost, and Power caught them off guard. Power, a team that will definitely do that. Now very low on boost. Daniel Atomic will still get the corner. Now comes back to beast mode. Has more to work with to get above Torsauce and Fever. That's a dangerous touch, and Atomic almost took advantage. Daniel gets a bouncer to beast mode. Fakes the shot, wants the double, gets nothing.
Very rare to see beast mode missing a double like that, completely missing it. I mean, you're probably looking for the double tap pass mid, like we've been seeing a lot today. But still, complete whiff, very rare to see. There's still chances for G2 though, as they start to swarm Power, trying to starve the boost away and just get tons of shots on target. It's just gone in. Atomic slots it top left. The goalkeeper got a touch, but it did bounce in off the post.
Power are playing way too deep into their net. They'll get the initial save, but where is the layers of this defense? G2 can hit rebound after rebound, and eventually the way that G2 can slot these, it will find the gap.
Yeah, especially if they get that many chances. Eventually one of them's going to go in. Power have got a good chance here. In fact, Torsauce is going to cut it middle immediately towards Fever, who's defended well by G2. But again, Power with the kickoff strats. Talked about it in the pre-show today. They were able to control Gen G from the center circle in the matchup yesterday. Looking to repeat that against G2.
Oh, Fever with almost a dunk attempt there, and Banana Head was feeling it too. He was the third man from Power challenging, but thankfully it popped up. Bought time for Power to reorganize. And G2 have a full tank, but getting ball control has been more difficult now than it was when the game started. But Power aren't really pressing, especially when two are low on boost. This gives time for beast mode. You don't want to allow that. MVP potential. Atomic almost on the goal line. There we go.
Daniel not allowed to be included in this play, says Atomic as beast mode with the immense reset. Outplay. Clean recovery there by Atomic. No nonsense, just making sure that he can finish off his own shot. And only after, of course, outplaying the last defender. Power struggling to control G2's offense right now. They've not been able to slow down the ball when G2 are attacking. It's just pinging about the box, switching sides left and right. Power really need to try and nullify that at some point, whether it's ground game or passing play.
Banana Head tried to go for the 50 on the goal line. It was a nice attempt. But yeah, Power gotta be way more preventative when it comes to these offenses, but keeping up with the G2 speed is something else. As Daniel went for the double, but Beast Mode was able to get the corner boost steal. Power went for the demo, 3-on-2 man advantage. Fever trying to carve through. Banana Head playing with the bounce, giving a chance for Torsauce to get a ball. But that took all three of Power. G2 caught him on the back foot, low on boost. Atomic didn't get the drop down he was hoping for. Beast Mode ready on the right side, playing his chances against Banana Head as Power stabilized.
Yeah, but this is not a bad passage of play for Power. But you can see a clear difference. G2's defense just has a far easier time handling Power's of attacking presses than Power do at the other end. Banana Head gonna try and change that fact. Flip reset. Boost steal by Torsauce. Meanwhile, G2 again easily able to deflect that attack and then take the ball away in a swift counter. It's a double commit from G2. Not the cleanest continuation as Beast Mode now comes into the play, but Power unable to really create realistic chances to score. Maybe this will be one though. Passing play in the final third. No, again. Materializes for G2.
No one going for the corner boost there. Torsauce really prioritized not letting G2 get set up, and this type of preventative play. Now you got two G2 and almost no one in net. Power got back in time as G2 still are finding that perfect footing to get organized. I think G2 are known to be striking early, and they're still finding that perfect pace. Daniel, there's no stopping him though.
He's just locked in. Look at this clean catch and then continuation by Daniel. I mean, that is a super difficult touch to make in the air, just taking all the power off the ball while bringing it under control like that. And while Power tried to get something of an attack started, they just concede one more. Now, they did drop game one to Gen G yesterday. This isn't the end of the world for Power. They were able to come back, win that series. Clear issues early on, though. They're not able to break down G2's defense. And that has been the problem for a lot of teams this season in RLCS. G2, I think, unanimously considered the best defensive team. Holding teams to low scores, even no goals sometimes, often. And in this case, they've only conceded one in game one.
3-1 for G2 in game one, as you said, and I felt like Power were more toe-to-toe at the start of the game, like not letting Daniel dribble across the field. That was a nice start, not allowing too much freedom on the ball, but then Power started leaning more and more back, letting G2 get these passes and these double tap attempts, and a lot of shots registered on the G2 Stride side as a result of that.
Yeah, G2 are really able to box Power in for a lot of their goals. The initial goal that they got, you know, there's just scramble after scramble, and Fever couldn't get a good clear on that. It was a bad touch by Fever to center the ball for the opponents. And same idea here, you know, Beast Mode outplaying one, but the follow-up is G2 ball. They keep getting there first every time a ball spills loose to the edge of the box.
And G2, I think, have started to find that tempo that's really worked for them. Obviously, the offenses are kicking Power in the teeth a bit, and you're starting to see that G2 form that we're more and more used to. I don't think this is anywhere near the G2 peak, and they're definitely respecting Power and catching them in their weaker moments.
Yeah, they are. And G2 can obviously peak extremely high. They tend to build up as the tournaments have gone on this year in RLCS, saving the best until last when it comes to playoffs. But they do need a good performance here, and they're so far showing a good performance. We already know what Power can do. It's going to be G2 with a half-flip kickoff that Power utilized yesterday. Awesome to see all these teams utilizing this, just leaving the ball. And, you know, be careful. If you're going to try this at home, you do want to have comms. Because sometimes your teammates just get very confused and annoyed when you do anything that isn't meta.
Yeah, G2 are just one of the most cohesive, structured teams, so them going for more and more demos, especially Atomic, tells me that they're trying to test what Power can do on the structure side. Are the gears still turning when they're a man down, and what decisions do they make in the moments of those demos? You know, I'm seeing Power...
move faster, you can stay static. Life is a beautiful madness. You can move faster, you can stay static. Let's get dramatic. Yeah, I really did that. You can move faster, you can move faster. Yeah, I really did that. Let's get dramatic. Why would I live in the real world when I'm living in the multiverse? When I flex in the metaverse, when I jump through your universe. Why would I live in the real world when I'm living in the multiverse? When I flex in the metaverse, through your universe.
Yeah, they were tested here. G2 with the second tournament in a row, draw power in the second round off Swiss. This time it was a real series though, and G2 show their level is ready for the World Championship from the start. As for power though, I mean,